Hello, Brian Wee here, Next Level Horse Business Accelerator Program, the art and science of client attraction. So, in this training, I'm going to teach you the high level concept of client attraction. We're going to talk about natural selection, general advertising versus direct response, and then I'm going to put this into some examples of live client acquisition events and really how to eventually kind of surround your target market. So, some of the examples will be for live events, but I think when you understand the concepts, you'll start to realize that you can apply them to different types of events. And I'll explain more what I mean by that. So, in the last week, we talked about really how to have, a heart-to-heart meeting with somebody and convert them into a paying client and really understanding what they wanted to accomplish. And if you can help them, you make them an offer and you position yourself as the vehicle to get them from their current situation to their desired situation. And it requires a lot of skill and energy to convert somebody. And so how do we know who we should be talking to and how do we talk to them? So I hope you came away from last week's training with a lot more skill and strategy about how you're going to talk to your prospects, and even excited to kind of get in front of people and to have some strategy sessions, to have some meetings, and to have some great conversations about what they want to accomplish. And so you're like, okay, bring me some people. And that's what this week's all about. So at any given time, a lot of marketing, experts guess that 3% of the market is ready to buy from you, right? You might be sort of staring out into a giant crowd of people and 3% of them are ready to buy from you. And you're wondering, well, how do I know which 3% are ready to buy? That's the $1 million question is who are they, And most businesses, most horse trainers, they really have no idea of identifying who's ready to go and who's not. They just don't know. And, we use a process called natural selection to sort of draw these people out and allow them to step forward and identify themselves, because it does take a lot of energy to convert somebody to a client, to enroll them. And, we got to find out who to focus on. So what is natural selection? And, the best example that I can think of is if you look at a lion hunting, and that's kind of what it's like to be in the business world, right? You got to go out and kill something and bring it home in order to eat if you are an entrepreneur. So the difference here, obviously, is that this lion is literally going to try to kill something, whereas you are going to go out and try to help people. But aside from that, this lion, what they're going to do is they're going to kind of step out and scatter the herd a little bit. They're not just going to go screaming full blown into the herd randomly. They're going to step out and kind of scatter the herd. And when the lion steps in front of the herd, they start to move and scatter, and eventually it becomes clear which animal the lioness needs to focus all her energy on. If the lioness simply tries to chase everyone, she will catch nothing. It's a very useful analogy for us as we start to market. Obviously, we're not trying to kill anyone. We're trying to help people. So I want to talk about direct response marketing, and it's 100% trackable. We put stimulus in front of the whole audience and allow the 3% to opt in to our machine and kind of put their hand up. And so now we know who these people are, and we begin to surround them with our message. So what is general advertising? This is an example of a general advertisement from Samsung. There's no call to action on this. Whereas direct response marketing, David Ogilvy is credited as being one of the pioneers, because a lot of what he did was there was always a call to action at the end of his ads, so you could tell if they were working and people were calling in or they would clip a coupon. Nowadays, it's so easy to create direct response marketing. Anything with a call to action is direct response marketing. So let me kind of go back to that again, just to make sure that's clear. This is a general advertisement, and I see a lot of horse trainers doing general advertising. They'll put an ad in a magazine with just a picture and kind of congratulate somebody, but people are kind of flipping through, looking at it, and they're like, well, it was a good investment to build my brand, but I didn't really get any clients out of it. But It was a good investment. I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend general advertising like that. I recommend doing stuff where there's a call to action and you can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to let you nerd out just in case you want to become a student of advertising and hear it directly from the Godfather himself, David Ogilvy.
I wish I could be with you today, in the flesh, as they say. Unfortunately, I'm in India. Ever been in India? Very hot. If you don't mind, I'm going to take off my coat. You know, in the advertising community today, there are two worlds. Your world of direct response advertising, and that other world, the world of general advertising. These two worlds are on a collision course. You direct response people know what kind of advertising works and what doesn't work. You know to a dollar. The general advertising people don't know. You know that 2-minute commercials on television are more effective, more cost-effective than 10-second commercials or 30-second commercials. You know that fringe time on television sells more than prime time. In print advertising, you know that long copy sells more than short copy. You know that headlines and copy about the product and its benefits sell more than cute headlines and poetic copy. You know to a dollar. The general advertisers and their agencies know almost nothing for sure because they cannot measure the results of their advertising. They worship at the altar of creativity, which really means originality, the most dangerous word in the lexicon of advertising. They opine that 30-second commercials are more cost-effective than 2-minute commercials. You know they're wrong. In print advertising, they opine that short commercials sell more than long copy. You know they're wrong. They indulge in entertainment. You know they're wrong. You know to a dollar they don't. Why don't you tell them? Why don't you save them from their follies? For two reasons. First, because you're impressed by the fact that they're so big and so well paid and so well publicized. You're even perhaps impressed by their reputation for creativity, whatever that may mean. Second, you never meet them. You inhabit a different world. The chasm between direct response advertising and general advertising is wide. On your side of the chasm, I see knowledge and reality. On the other side of the chasm, I see ignorance. You are the professionals. This must not go on. I predict that the practitioners of general advertising are going to start learning from your experience. They're going to start picking your brains. I see no reason why the direct response divisions of agencies should be separate from the main agencies. Some of you may remember when television people in agencies were kept separate. Wasn't that idiotic? I expect to see the direct response people become an integral part of all agencies. You have more to teach them than they have to teach you. You have it in your power to rescue the advertising business from its manifold lunacies. When I was 25, I took a correspondence course in direct mail. I bought it out of my own pocket from the Dartnell Corporation in Chicago. Direct response was my first love, and later it became my secret weapon. When I started Ogilvy and Mather, New York, nobody had heard of us. But we were airborne within 6 months and grew at record speed. How did we achieve that? By using my secret weapon, direct mail. Every 4 weeks I sent personalized mailings to our new business prospects. And I was always amazed to discover how many of our clients had been attracted to Ogilvy and Mather by those mailings. That was how we grew. Whenever I look at an advertisement in a magazine or a newspaper, I can tell at a glance whether the writer has had any direct response experience. If he writes short copy or literary copy, it is obvious that he has never had the disciplines of writing direct response. If he has had that discipline, he wouldn't make those mistakes. Nobody should be allowed to create general advertising until he has served his apprenticeship in direct response. That experience will keep his feet on the ground for the rest of his life. You know, the trouble with many copywriters and general agencies is that they don't really think in terms of selling. They've never written direct response. They've never tasted blood. Until recently, direct response was the Cinderella of the advertising world. Then came the computer and the credit card, and direct marketing exploded. You guys are coming to your own. Your opportunities are colossal. In the audience today, there are heads of some general agencies. I offer you this advice. Insist that all your people, creative, media, account executives, that they're all trained in your direct response division. If you don't have such a division, make arrangements with a firm of direct marketing specialists to train your people. And make it a rule in your agency that no copy is ever presented to clients before it has been vetted by a direct response expert. Ladies and gentlemen, I envy you. Your timing is perfect. You've come into the direct response business at the right moment in history. You're onto a good thing. For 40 years, I've been a voice crying in the wilderness, trying to get my fellow advertising practitioners to take direct response seriously. Today, my first love is coming to its own. You face a golden future.
So that is, let's see if we can get out of this, kind of a hero in the marketing world, David Ogilvy. And let's just see if we can kind of get back into present mode. So, you know, basically, here's an example of a direct response marketing strategy. Is I like to think of an event that only my ideal client would want to attend, okay? And anyone who registers for the event is naturally self-selecting themselves as the 3% that I need to focus on. And I tell my clients to think of this too. And furthermore, it's very natural for someone to provide their contact information when they register for an event. So I'm looking for a natural way for somebody to give me their contact information. And generally speaking, holding an event works really well. At the event, you will have an opportunity to convert the attendee into a client. And if you don't, you will be building a list as a byproduct, which you can nurture and farm indefinitely and get them later, right? So a certain amount of the people will convert at the event and some will convert later. So if you are doing an online course, you could have a webinar. That's an online event that people are happy to register for, show up. You provide value. At the end of it, you give somebody an opportunity to opt into your program. And if they don't, you have a sequence afterwards where you follow up with them and kind of nurture them, and you might enroll them as a client later. So something like that can work online or it can work in person. Another example here is, what I said, online course, you could do a live webinar. Horses and Riders in Training, we'll be talking about a value video funnel, which I can show you later. And riding schools, I like to do live client acquisition events, sort of like pony rides and open house and exhibition rides. Can work really well to draw the general public in. So I just want to remind you, to continue breaking down the fundamentals, is your prospect is going to come into contact with your stimulus. And the stimulus is generally an ad or a post that you make on Facebook. It's something, it could be the event. And the description for the event should kind of agitate their current situation. They should get excited, or it should remind them of something that, they really wanted to get into horses and never have, and have this longing, and they want to go see the horses, and they want to, fix their horse problem. It should sort of agitate a problem. It should invoke a desire within them to the point that they register for the event. And that's how you self-select people, and that's direct response marketing. And nowadays, it's so easy to create these registrations where people give you their name and their email and even their phone number. And then eventually we can get even their home address. So that's what we call marketing. That's what we call direct response marketing. And remember that their memory, diminishes over time. So it is important to get in front of them while they still remember you and the agitation that your marketing created, and to basically present yourself as the vehicle to get them from their current situation to their desired situation, and then to truly be that vehicle and start bringing people from point A to point B, sometimes kicking and screaming, and then they will thank you when you deliver them to their future. So let's talk and take a little bit deeper dive into some live events that have been working really, really well for riding schools, just so you can see this in practice. If at the event, someone at your event will have that epiphany, that is who I want to be, and that is who I want to be. That is what I want to do, and that is who I want to be. So that's when you have maybe an exhibition ride and you have the kids watching, and they're like, that's it right there. So the anatomy of a great event is you have to have some sort of hook to draw people in. So, you got to provide a lot of value, and it's got to be exciting. It's got to be sizzled a little bit. People have been doing pony rides. People have been doing, all sorts of things to draw people in. It really is important to have a registration channel to capture people's emails and phone numbers to register for the event. At the event, you need to really provide value, entertainment. It should be fun. Exhibitions are great, and it's a really, really good chance for people to see their desired future in your program, whether you ride in them or you have your top students ride in them. You should really have a chance for you, the business owner, to show up as an authority. And you don't have any competition in sight, because if you put on this event, it's not like you're at a horse show or at an expo where there's, all kinds of competition. You can create these events and be the only authority there. And, it's also a great chance to recognize and re-energize the community that you already have. At this event, you need to make a time-sensitive offer. Anyone that signs up for my offer at this event gets a certain discount today. So there needs to just sort of be that urgency to take action at the event when everybody's excited, when everybody's there. Don't let them leave without making them a time-sensitive offer. After the event, you have all kinds of opportunities to follow up. You can send thank you emails. You can text them if you got their phone number. You can show up in their messenger. If you did pony rides, they should be filling out a waiver, and you should have their mail. And, direct mail is not dead in that situation. You could send a thank you letter with a bag of cookies and say, come back sometime for a free pony ride, and give them a coupon, something like that to bring them back. Would work great. So that is a really, really strong marketing. If every month you did some sort of event, either a webinar or a show at your farm, you brought people in, you captured their email, you captured their phone number, you captured their physical address, and then you followed up in a non-threatening way and invited them back to your farm, the people that you liked, and you stay top of mind, it's going to work really well for you. Another benefit of an event is it really forces you to kind of get your act together, because you're like, oh man, all these people are coming. I better I better get cleaned up and figure out what's going on here. It also kind of energizes your community. Events in general, especially if you've got a farm, people like events. They like parties. It creates energy and excitement around your program. I will give you some recommended software. Right now for physical events, Eventbrite has a feature to integrate with your Facebook event, so you can capture emails really easily. And creating a Facebook event, you can kind of share it all over the place, as well as boost the event and really get a lot of registrations for these events. And then I'll also have a little bit of a different software cocktail for webinars, which I can give you as well. So check with me exactly what the current recommended software is for all this stuff. But it's way more important that you understand the concept of it and why it works. And then you can kind of even use your own software if you want, or we can give you the software that we recommend. So, once you get your 3% to present themselves, you want to surround them on every platform possible. So it's so powerful when, you friend somebody on Facebook. Let's just say in the event that somebody registers for your event, you could easily friend them on Facebook. You could put everyone in a Facebook group messenger chat. You can add them to your email list. You could save their phone number. You can capture their physical address with a waiver at the event. And then this person, they might see you, kind of see your posts on Facebook and get to know you. And, again, use Facebook like a business thing. Don't be posting stupid stuff on Facebook. Post stuff that presents yourself well. Then you're going to be in their messenger, right? Then you're going to be in their email inbox, maybe reminding them about the event. Then you might be sending them text reminders about the event. Now you're on their phone. And then at the event, they're going to meet you in person. And then after the event, you might send them, a thank you letter and some horse cookies and a coupon to come back out for 50% off a free lesson if it's used in the next 2 weeks. And it's so powerful to hit somebody on all those different angles. Each one is a different angle. So if you pick one person and you show up on 5 or 6 different point of contacts, that's what I've done with most of my prospects is it's marketing by surrounding them. And it might sound, really aggressive, but if it's done well, it actually is just right? Because they meet you in person, they get direct mail from you, they see you in their feed, they see your paid ads, they get emails from you, they get texts from you, they might even get a voicemail from you, they get Facebook messages from you, and eventually they buy from you. So it might sound too aggressive, but it's not. It's just right. You can ask people to post pictures on the events page after the event. You can send thank you emails, and also real, mail in their mailbox, and offer people a barn tour or offer people a consultation, and put a link to your calendar to anyone who wants to talk to you and kind of discuss what working with you would look like. So there's follow-up. Again, if you were to do some sort of event once a month or once a quarter, you would get clients out of it if you ran it well. And then all in between events, you should be following up with people and asking them if they want to set up a call, if they want to take a barn tour, if they want, making them offers on different channels and different offers, and it will provide leads for you, all year long. So I hope you learn something from this training. We're going to get into more detail about messaging and specific softwares that we can play with in some other trainings. So let's do that right now.